Very funny.
Very well said, Rufai. Let's take another story still in Nigeria. The indigenous people of Biafra on Tuesday claimed to be in talks with the United Nations to hold a referendum for a sovereign state of Biafra. In a statement by the group's media and publicity secretary, Ima Powerful, the group is making efforts for the referendum any moment soon, adding that residents within the Biafra territory and those living beyond the boundaries of Biafra will be able to determine their own fate. The group expects the United Nations to supervise the referendum and are calling for freedom for all and not just for Biafrans alone. I mean, this is another, what do you call it, Brexit?
Yes.
How is it possible to have a sovereign state without any form of, partition? I mean, I would like to know, how does that work?
It's possible. Okay. You can have, these are called, there are different types of referendums. This ones are called independence referendums. And an independence referendum does not actually need the consent of the national government. What tends to happen is if there's some kind of separatist movement, and that separatist movement gets support maybe at an election, they can now use that momentum to demand a referendum, not even of the national, or in our case, the federal government, just of their own people.
Okay.
They put a question on the ballot and people answer the question and they vote. And the United Nations will not call a referendum. Every country has their sovereignty. The United Nations will supervise, they'll observe if they're told to, they'll monitor a referendum if they're asked to. The United Nations is also relevant if the referendum succeeds and maybe the national government doesn't want to apply, the results of the referendum. The United Nations can come in and recognize that country as an independent country to give that referendum credence. So, yeah.
So then what happens to the people that are not in support of the sovereign state of Biafra, that are in that territory as well? What happens?
I'm speaking hypothetically. Yes. The referendum might not even happen because, like I said, it usually happens on the back of a popular movement. There has to be some momentum. You can't just wake up and have a referendum. Like if there's an election, for example, and let's say, I don't know, a particular political party, a separatist party, wins all the states, then from there you can now use that momentum to call for a referendum. Right now that has not happened.
Yes.
So if at all the referendum does happen, if people vote no, then vote to be counted, then it's no, and they stay in Nigeria. But if there's an overwhelming yes or a majority yes, then they leave. If at all the federal government allows it. And the United Nations and the international community rally around the new state.
Well, they have claimed that it's going to be a peaceful process. I don't know how that's going to be, but I think that we can come back to continue on this discussion.
Let's take a short break. When we return, I will give you my views on the issue of the referendum. We'll take a short break now. When we return, the morning show will continue with What's Trending with OG. Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. And still with us in the studio is OG with What's Trending. Well, before we went on break, we were talking about the request of the Indigenous Peoples of Biafra through Emma Powerful, the secretary, asking for a referendum to be organized by the United Nations. Now, the subject we're dealing with basically is self-determination. And self-determination, is an internationally recognized right by various UN conventions. Whether you are talking about Kosovo, or you are talking about East Timor, or you are talking about Cameroon. And it is indeed true that the United Nations can supervise referendums. The right of a people to determine their own future, to determine their own sovereignty. Now, two examples. In February 1961, the UN supervised the referendum to determine whether Northern Cameroon or Southern Cameroon would join Nigeria or join Cameroon. And that referendum was conducted. At the end of the day, when the votes were tallied, people can vote yes or no. At the end of it, Northern Cameroon joined Nigeria. Southern Cameroon, led by Ndeli and Co., joined Cameroon, the French-speaking Cameroon. Now, this was the decision over the British-occupied part of Cameroon at the time. In 1999, it was East Timor. And it was the president of Indonesia at the time who approached the United Nations to allow the people of East Timor to decide whether they would like to have special autonomy within Indonesia or have their own independence. And of course, they rejected special autonomy within Indonesia. In 2002, East Timor became independent on its own. And then you have the example of Kosovo and all of that. But whatever happens, there is no way that the United Nations can do a referendum inside Nigeria over and above the head of an existing sovereign. That is the Nigerian government itself. Now, would there be a referendum in Biafra? And how will it pan out? I know that there are many agitators from the eastern part of the country who say Nigeria has been unjust to Igbos in the Nigerian Federation, that Igbos have been marginalized, because at the basis of questions of self-determination, it's always about citizenship, it's always about justice, it's always about equity. Would they be able to get enough votes? Well, my gut feeling is that, look, most Igbos will probably not want to leave Nigeria. I may be wrong. And speaking for myself, I'd rather have Nigeria as it is, as a diverse nation, you know, as this rainbow nation, multicultural. And I mean, a Nigeria without Igbos would not be the same Nigeria.
All right, but
and I hope that even if it is put to vote, that more Igbos would rather stay in Nigeria, because Igbos are already, you know, completely immersed in the Nigerian Federation. They are part of the fabric of this country. And I think that the ordinary Igbo man does not share the same sentiments with Emma Powerful.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Well,
that's my own, that's my own
But then there's also the outcry of the allegation of the Christian genocide, which is what they are using as the propaganda to try to have this sovereign Biafra state. What is your take on that, Rufai?
I mean, people always have a reason for doing things, but I think I'd like to agree with Dr. Abati. We are better together as a nation, but it is incumbent on us to also look at the fault lines of why these agitations and ask ourselves, have the nation been fair to the Igbos? And if we can answer that question, we should start to look inwards in terms of infrastructural development and the likes. Because all over the world, like Dr. Abati said, you know, you're going to have agitations. I think in Spain, they even had a separatist movement for the Basque region. The group was called Escodita Azacatasuna, ETA, pushing for the liberation of the Basque region. Even in Canada, as you think Canada is all peaceful, people in Quebec too have been pushing for nationhood, but they're always underlining issues. Despite the works Trudeau's father, Elliot Trudeau, did, Justin Trudeau's father, you know, to bring Canadians together. So there are underlying issues. I think what we should focus on really is the underlying issues, how we can, you know, help to show that we are a true federation, develop the East, make the East a heartland, whatever is due to them, you know, we should give them and make them one part of this nation. Like you said, Igbos are too vested. I mean, if they leave, who are they going to leave Ladipo market for? That's a big question I want to ask.
Well, they'll create their own Ladipo market.
A lot of Igbos own properties. They are even intermarried here. Let's not deceive ourselves, but let's also look at the factors for those agitations. Because if you ask me, honestly, I would say to a large extent, those factors of agitation have not been addressed. It still looks like an unequal country. Some people are put down, some people are put on. I love my Igbo brothers. Kedu?
At the same time, Yorubas are also asking for Oduduwa Republic.
Yes.
So that's why those fault lines that you know, Rufai referred to are important. We need to remake the nation.
Yes.
Do we really have a nation in which every part has a sense of belonging?
What you said, Rufai, reminded me of Scotland. There's a sense of disenfranchisement with Scotland, and their referendum, everybody was so convinced that Scotland would vote to leave the United Kingdom, and they didn't. So in spite of a lot of, you know, disenchantment that people have, I guess you're right. Many of us are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
And we're so intertwined as we are. Yeah.
But nothing is given.
It's not.
That's the point
it's really
you're
not.
making.
Yeah.
It's in the example of
Scotland, yes.
All right. Well, let's take another.
Biafra. There we are. There we are. Overseas crowd, the way they come. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is happening here? What are we not saying? Biafra. This is state of Biafra. This is state of Biafra. Ali Water. Aligwacha, Aligwacha, Aligwacha.
All these boys, how they will start? They will not this Nigeria flag. They watch this flag now. You will get by now. I'm not noise.
Oh boy.
John, don't be small thing.
Oh boy, c'est crade, man. Nigeria flag, the one bring them down. This is Biafra land. Come on, carry everything. Carry everything down. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
yes, this is Biafra land.
Jesus is you.
Where's our side?
John, don't be so sad.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, Biafra will go. Biafra, here we are. And Iguacha, come on, declare the state of Biafra. Declare the state of Biafra. Ah, see me online now, man.
So you know the book flag, oh?
Ah, who's gonna do?
You know the book the Nigerian flag, oh?
For Buhari to tamper Nnamdi Kanu, he is finished.
Nigerian flag.
For Buhari to tamper with Nnamdi Kanu, he is finished. Yeah, he's supposed. Declare this war. We are there. We are going there. Oh, yes, so Buhari must obey Biafra.
Just say what I want. Johnny, there you are. Buhari must obey Biafra. Nigerian flag, here with a China and all. Jordan, that is a woman crowd. The single, Buhari must obey Biafra, obey.
Oh, but see, guys, see, man, this is something terrible.
I never saw this before.
For Buhari to tamper with Nnamdi Kanu, he's finished. Oh, but see.
Carlo. Awa Hausa.
Okora Hausa.
Awa Hausa. So good or what? So. Where the from?
We are Biafrans. Biafrans to the core. The day when they go declare the sovereign state of Biafra, eh? Mission, it's on mission.
Hey son, so this is actually part of the coat of arms of Biafra. The flag was, black, red and green, and this part was on the black part. It's on the black part, black at the top, red in the middle, green down the bottom. I hope I got that right. So, I nearly had that right. I had the red and the green mixed up. So that's the actual flag there. And as you can see, the sun, it's actually pretty much the same. So this is actually quite a hard banknote to get. The value of these banknotes is probably about $20 for this series. And it only was used for 1 year until it was replaced by the other series, which is this one. And this is actually quite a better series. These ones in uncirculated, you're talking about $2 to $3. For most of them, you could probably get something like $1.50. but I wouldn't pay anything over $3 for this banknote here. So that's the one we're talking about, the £1. This one is a lot rarer. And as you can see, they tried to put in a security thread, but as Nigeria is not a recognised country, I'm not too sure who actually produced these banknotes. It looks like that they were just produced by a local printer or some type of printer. And on this side we actually have the coat of arms of Biafra. And as you can see, it has a leopard. And on the bottom of the shield, so this top of the shield is black. So we have black, red and green there. And these look like horseshoes are actually a golden colour. So there's peace, unity and freedom. And up the top we have an eagle. Not too sure what eagle it is. Could be a fishing eagle, but I could be wrong on that. And that is a nice banknote. So the only other banknote that's issued with this series is the 5 shilling. And that's even harder to get than the £1. The £1 of those, both of these series seems to be quite common. So in the second series, you get a whole series from 5 shilling, 10 shilling, £1, £5 and £10. The easiest one to get is a £1. It seems to be very common in uncirculated condition, so it was the most printed banknote. Then we have the 5 and 10 shilling. They're a bit harder to get. Most of them are actually circulated, so you'll probably be paying for about $10 to $20 for those ones. Then the hardest ones you can get are the £5 and the £10. £10 is virtually impossible to get. I looked on eBay and all I could find was these 2 banknotes. I didn't have any sold history on them. I actually brought that banknote probably 2 years ago. Probably I think about $25. And here we got one for very fine, $44. Another one extremely fine, $100. I would say uncirculated one's easy, $1,000 for a £5. And then this one's probably very good to low grade, very fine. I think either the paper is actually thick or something's actually been spilt on it. But as you can see, it has a lot of detail. Does it have any watermarks? No, it doesn't. Not even a security thread. So I have a lot of Nigerians actually coming to my channel and going, you got 2 lots. You got one saying that there's an undividable Nigeria and they don't want Biafra to become independent again. Then you got other ones. They're probably from the Igbo tribe, so they make up the majority of Nigeria. No, not Nigeria, Biafra region. And they come on and say this currency will be rising again. Well, this currency definitely is not going to rise again. Not these banknotes anyway. If Biafra actually gets independence and Nigeria actually lets them, and Biafra actually issues their own currency, yeah, they might issue the pound again. But not these banknotes. And the reason why is because the style of their printing is too basic for modern technology. You can quite easily copy this on a computer and just print it out because it has no security threads and has no watermark. That actually is a disincentive for it to actually circulate. And another reason is because of the high value. They're actually quite an expensive banknote to actually get. And the £10, let me have a look and see if they're on eBay. And yes, they are on eBay. There's actually 24 items compared to the 2 items that are £5. So the £5 a lot harder to get. But as you can see, the prices are pretty high. The lowest I got is about $100. That's in, what grade was that? Very fine. Uncirculated for 500. Extremely fine. So these are actually a very expensive banknote. So here you have a whole set for 1,300. So So I won't be getting, and look, here is a 10 shilling banknote, $23 uncirculated. And yeah, so as you can see, the £1's quite cheap. Let's see if any have sold. Completed, sold items. No results found. That's from Australia. And as you can see, they sell for $60 is the cheapest. Generally, the other two sold for over £10. Oh yeah, baby. $80, okay. Oh, I should make another video on those £10. Anyway, $100 most likely you'll be actually spending on a £10 banknote. So that's why that's not going to circulate. And if you're going to, if £10 banknote has an equivalent value of $100 and the security features are actually not that good, then really they're going to get counterfeited quite a lot. And then quite quickly they'd actually be replaced by another banknote with more modern counterfeiting, anti-counterfeiting features. But as you can see, this one is quite damaged. And here we have on the back, large £5. So these were issued in 1969, and the Biafran War of Independence, or the Nigerian Civil War, whichever you want to say it is, lasted from 1967 to 1970. So these are actually only in circulated.
This program on this day, being 10th of July 2020, is being brought to you by Imo BTV. We are here live in Oshobodo. Oshobodo is in Uguta LGA, and Uguta LGA is in Olu Province. Olu Province is in Imo State. Imo State remains Biafra land. This program today is a mega rally organized by Uguta LGA to sensitize the people and as well as mobilize the people in respect to our forthcoming Biafra referendum. As you can see, we have already started marching from Calabari Beach. We have passed Aru village and we are now in Oshobodo. We are going to pass through or sensitize about 5-6 communities ahead. So the journey is very far, and the people are ready. You can see the enthusiasm, you can see the boldness, you can see the courage, you can see the determination for every one of us. Every one of us who are here, the volunteers are here, the members are here, the executives are here, and we thank you for Kikabiama that people are coming out even to join us from the communities. So keep watching the program as we unfold the next stage of it. Remain blessed. I remain Mazi Chinebere Wosu for Imo BTV. Welcome back, my brothers and sisters all over the world. Our viewers, I appreciate you. I know you stood by all this while. Yes, we remain volunteers and the members of IPOB in Uguta LGA, like I told you earlier. Today is 10th, once again, 10th of July 2020. The IPOB members of Uguta LGA, we are here live and direct, having our mega rally to sensitize our people, like I told you earlier. Now we have passed Osobodo Autonomous Community, we have just passed Lebu Autonomous Community, and we are marching to Nkweshi Autonomous Community, all in Uguta LGA. Keep watching and keep enjoying the program. It has been so wonderful. The people of the communities we have just passed, they trooped out to join us. Some of them have joined us. Some of them have appreciated. Some of them have given us something like water, like beverages, and like biscuits. As you can see, Biafra is formidable and IPOB is formidable. Continue watching as we come on and support your country, Biafra. Over here in Biafra land, we see the men people of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB. This is Uguta LGA, a mega rally being conducted today by the local government, the local government precisely. And we have just arrived our last bus stop for the day program, and this is Umbele Autonomous Community. We just passed to Kweshi Autonomous Community, and you can see if the people are just left to continue, they will go miles and towns. So you can see the spirit is so high, the motivation is so high. The people all over the community, the vicinity, they are happy to see our members. They are happy to see people who are representing them. And as we are standing here, we are representing Master Namikado and the whole community that have passed through today. We are telling Ahamadike to continue this good work because we know this time. We know that the sovereignty of Biafra. Our referendum is coming, and as you can see, continue to watch this play. I really want to say very well soon. Thank you.
This is Ukuta local government president of Mazio Kezoro. We are here to demonstrate to show the people of Ukuta that the IPOB Biafra is at hand. We are not happy. We are waiting for our referendum. We want our referendum to come. Tomorrow. We are able to pass. Shalom.
Wanna put a nuzore one.